guys. Today I wanted to talk about some of the crazy things that I have manifested in my life. I definitely have a whole bunch of them, but today I'm just going to talk about a few. The first one is going to be my wedding dress. I know that it may seem like a really small thing, but it's a really cool story. Back in 2011, I got hired on to be a bridal stylist. And my first day on the job, I walked into this gorgeous bridal store. I've never been in one before. And I walk in and I just see all these beautiful wedding gowns. And, you know, when you go into a store like that and you see just these gorgeous gowns, I mean, I feel like almost every female just gets this excited feeling because it's just like playing dress up. And on that first day, we actually did get to play dress up. But when I first walked into the store, I saw my eyes were immediately drawn to this gown, and it was different than anything I had ever seen before. And I just loved it. And that day we did get to play dress up, and I wanted to try that dress on, but the owner wouldn't let me because it was on a mannequin, and she wanted me to pick one out that was just backed up. So I stayed in bridal for about 6 years, and I absolutely adored it. I loved working with brides. I absolutely loved helping women find their dream wedding gown. But the place that I trained at was not the place that I actually worked at. We were just training there until the new store was open. This store that I trained at, that I first saw my wedding gown, they carried about 27 to 35 different designers. The place that I actually got hired to work at, that was still being built together, was Impression Bridal, and they only carried their own designs. And so anyways, I worked at this first bridal shop for training, and then when Impression Bridal was ready and open, I started working there. And I found out I was pregnant probably about 7 months later with my first child, my son. And anyways, my husband and I didn't get engaged until 2015. So this was 4 years after I started working in bridal. And one of the really cool things is that the store that I worked at had the wedding gown that I loved. They happened to be the designer of that gown that I just absolutely fell in love with. And so we only had 2 sizes of that particular dress. We had a size 2 and we had a size, I believe it was an 18. And so the reason that's relevant is because that dress ended up actually getting discontinued. And so at any given time, any bride could have bought the dress that I loved. And the funny thing is, no bride ever liked it. There was only one person I worked with that actually ever wanted to try it on. Nobody wanted to try it on. It was just really unique and just not very in style. And so it turns out that, you know, I had my son, I lost the baby weight, and I was able to fit into that size 2. And it was actually gifted to me by one of the owners of the store. She gave me my wedding gown. So a gown that, you know, was originally like $900. It was marked down to clearance for $150, but I got it for free. And it just always gives me chills thinking back to it, because my very first day working in bridal, walking into that shop, my eyes just immediately went to my wedding dress. And the fact that it was designed by the place that I got hired by. It wasn't from Allure or Maury Lee or any of the other really popular bridal styles. It was from Da Vinci Bridal, which was a sub-company of Impression Bridal. And so out of all the places that designed it, it was the place that I worked at. And then, of course, the fact that it got discontinued, the fact that somebody could have easily purchased off the rack and, you know, left my dress gone. There was no way I could have had another one made. But it was like that dress was literally just waiting there for me. And to this day, I still get compliments on my dress when I have pictures posted of my wedding, just because it is just really different and unique. And it's not everybody's style, but it was just meant for me. So that's my first manifesting story. And the third one that I want to talk about is just a really small thing, but goes to show what happens like when you're in flow with the universe and when, you're in a high vibration. And this happened a lot more recently. And this was right after, I would say, like a month or two after I really started getting back on track spiritually, meditating, journaling, writing affirmations, writing gratitude lists, listening to, just filling myself with positivity, law of attraction, just anything that I could get my hands on, I was looking at and reading and filling myself with. And so one day we were leaving the library, my stepson and my other two children, and we were leaving the library and I was about to be out of gas. And so instead of taking a right and going to the closest gas station, for some reason I'm like, let me just go left. Let me go to Kroger, which was further, and they had a gas station, right out in front of the Kroger. And I was like, let me just go this way. And I don't know why I did. I just was like, hey, let me just do this. So I did. And I pull up to the gas pump and I realized that as I start to pump, I'm like, wait a second, I didn't have to do anything. Like, I didn't have to put my card in. And so I let it keep going. And I'm like, okay, if it gets past 15, like, I'm going to stop this because I don't want to run up somebody's card. And sure enough, it hit 15 and it stopped. And I was like, whoa, I just got free gas. That's awesome. It's something that I didn't even realize that I manifested until recently. I was thinking of different things that I manifested in my life, even up into my wedding, which I will talk about in a different video. But my wedding venue, the way that it got set up, how it happened, that's a story for a different time. But anyways, that is the story of my manifesting my perfect wedding gown. Let's see. The second one that I want to talk about is my husband, manifesting him. So like most people, I went through my phase of complete assholes who didn't care about me as much as I cared about them. And, I would stick with them because I love very hard. And when I fall in love with somebody, I stick through it no matter what. I was also young and naive and didn't realize my self-worth, which I do now. And, I would go through the phases where I would be like, I'm never talking to this asshole again, and delete their number. And then like the next day we would be talking. And this happened for a long time. And I ended up meeting my husband one night at a party. And I was the annoying drunk girl telling him he was sleeping on the couch. And I went up to him saying, wake up, you're missing the party, wake up, not knowing that he had work the next day. So his first impression of me was annoying drunk girl that won't let me sleep when I have a shift in 4 hours. And he was dating one of my best friends and I was dating one of his friends. And I remember I really liked when he told me that the dude that I was dating was not worth it. Like he said that he let me know in like a conversation that they had and basically told me what the guy had said about me. And I really liked that he did that because I broke it off with the other guy out. But he ended up breaking up with my friend and he went on his way and he asked for my number before he left and I gave it to him. And sometime between the point of him asking for my number and us actually going out on our first date, which was months later, but there was at some point that I went in my journal and I wrote that I was going to start respecting myself, that I was not going to keep dating assholes that had no interest in me or didn't care enough about me. I had this kind of awakening where I was like, damn, like I really have not been respecting myself. And how am I going to find a guy to respect me if I don't? And on that very same day, my future husband was actually on MySpace, if you guys remember that. He was on MySpace pretty much writing the same thing, like writing out the characteristics of what he wanted in a partner. Like if you put his MySpace post and my journal entry together, they were like almost identical and like what we wanted in a person and that we were sick of being treated like crap by people. And again, I don't know exactly how we figured this out. I think we went back to his MySpace and my journal entry, but we wrote these on the exact same day. Like, it just blows my mind. Like, how crazy is that? Like, just the chances of everything. Not to mention, he moved into the neighborhood that I lived in my whole life, while like literally the month that I moved out. It was in May of 2005. It was when his son was born, and it was when I was going into 8th grade. He's a little bit older than me. So anyways, he was coming into that neighborhood while I was leaving, and we had all these mutual friends through all these years, and we never met each other, which was like impossible. If you were in that neighborhood and you were in the party group, like you knew everybody. But we didn't meet until we were supposed to meet. And so that is another story of, you know, putting your desires out there and just kind of letting the universe run with it. And, you know, because I wrote that down and I didn't obsess over it and I didn't think about it. It literally wasn't until months after we started dating that I remembered. I was going through my journals and I saw that entry. And I was about to call him and tell him, oh my God, like, guess what I wrote 6 months ago? And I was on my way to call him, and then there was a knock on the door, and he actually got to my house. And it was just little things like that would happen. And we've been together for 10 years, and we've been married for, it'll be 4 years in August. So we never have broken up. We've never cheated on each other. Like, there's nothing like that. We're not perfect, but we have been together through thick and thin, and there has been a lot of things happen in our lives that could have easily made us, you know, weaker as a couple, but it's always made us stronger. So that's my story of how I manifested my amazing husband. I didn't want to get any kind of bad karma from stealing somebody else's gas, and so I went up to the gas station attendant and I told him what had happened, and he looked at me like, lady, are you crazy? Like, what do you want me to do? Like, you just got free gas and you're coming up to me. And I was like, listen, like, if the people come back and if they remembered that they'd paid for their gas and didn't get it, just, can you please write down my name and number and take it? And so I wrote it down for him. And again, this whole time he's looking at me like I'm nuts. And I'm like, you know, maybe I can Venmo them the money or Cash App them the money or something. Like, I don't want to steal from them. So I forced him to take my name and my number, and I'm like, please give me a call if they come back and want their gas. I don't want to take something that wasn't mine. And nobody ever called. And just, if you just think about the logistics of it, I mean, leaving, not going to the normal gas station that I would always go to, going to a gas station that is part of a grocery store when I had nothing to get to the grocery store. I literally just needed gas. So just that decision in itself, and it wasn't an active decision. It was just, again, being in flow. Like, the universe was just like, hey, go this way. And I did. I didn't question it. I just went. So not only doing that, but pulling up to the exact pump out of like 15 pumps, pulling up to the exact pump at the exact time and getting $15 worth of gas for free. That's just universal shit right there. I mean, it's just like, there's no other explanation for that. It's just serendipity, divine intervention, like whatever you want to call it. And no, it's not winning $1 million lottery ticket, but it's just goes to show when you just let go of your expectations, when you get in tune with the universe, when you do what you're supposed to do, when you meditate, when you keep your vibration high, when you do all of these things that any spiritual guru or positivity video on YouTube or book will tell you to do. These are the kinds of things that happen. Like I said in one of my other videos, it's just kind of like a path is laid out for you, and you're just kind of going along, and you're, oh, a surprise here, oh, money here, oh, a check in the mail here. And so I just think it's so cool. It's, like I said, it's a small story, but I think it's a really cool story. And I just feel like there is no other explanation for it other than the law of attraction, believing in the universe, and then being grateful for something like that. You know, it's really important that you practice gratitude when these things happen to you, and when you have when you find money, or when you find free gas, or when you get your wedding gown for free, or whenever something good happens to you. It's so important to be grateful for that, because when you open yourself up to gratitude and you express to the universe like, hey, I saw that, I appreciated it, please give me more. Like, you're much more likely to receive more things versus like, oh, I got $15 in gas today, like whatever, no big deal, and just kind of not not acknowledging it and just moving on. So yes, those are the 3 things that I wanted to talk about today. Like I said, I have so many more stories of just inexplicable things that have happened to me that I have manifested into my life. But if I do them all at once, it'll be like a 3-hour video. And so I want to come back and talk about those at a different time and different videos. But that's just, what I wanted to talk about. And I just want to have you guys go and think about things that maybe you haven't recognized before, like me with my wedding gown. I didn't really realize that I had manifested until I went back and thought about it. So what I want you guys to do is to just kind of go back through your life and find the things that you've manifested, because you have at some point in your life, you've manifested something has happened, somebody's come into your life, you've received something, something has happened that you're like, wait a second, like a whole bunch of little things added up for that to happen. And you did it without doing it purposely. You did it without thinking of it purposely. Like, it just happened. So go back through, kind of look through your life and some of the bigger moments or even small moments. And just, when you start to lay it all out and you realize like, oh my God, I manifested this and this and this. It just gives you an amazing feeling, and it really makes you want to do more work on yourself so it can continue happening, and you can see like, what else can I manifest, what else can I come in and bring into my life, and what else can I allow the universe to bring into my life. So I hope that you guys enjoyed my little story time about my manifestations, and I hope that it made you guys want to go back through and look not only at your past manifestations, but get you guys excited about what else you can manifest in your life. So I will be back soon with another video. Probably my next one will be another book that has inspired me. And I'll definitely be back with some other manifestation stories that I, again, are just really too awesome to refute. And so if you guys enjoyed this video, please, please, please like and subscribe to my channel. And also feel free to leave comments below about your manifesting stories. I would love to hear them. Also, if there's anything that you guys would like to know about or talk about or have me talk about, please let me know in the comments below. But I definitely want to hear your manifestation stories. And I will be back soon with another video. Bye.